Welcome to the 20-Minute Gamer channel. I'm your host, Nick, and we're back with another tactical breakdown here on Aliens Dark Descent. Now, we're in the headquarters portion of Pioneer Station. No spoilers. If you're just here for the tactical breakdowns, I'm not going to tell you why we're here, but we're here for a very, very important reason, all right? Now, in the command room, we are pitted up against and backed up into a corner against a Xeno attack. So that's what we're going to kind of break down here. Now, there are a couple of things I did against my better judgment because I'm an achievement whore, all right? Now, there are no achievements that happen here necessarily in this particular mission. However, the objectives do ask you to put your turrets in a certain place. So I did place my turrets where the objectives told me that I needed to place the turrets, just because I need that little yellow icon to disappear. Get out of here! I cannot stand seeing it, all right? So I don't think that that's impacted anything. I think the way that it was set up was fine. Honestly, it's probably how I would have set things up anyway, so I'm not that heartbroken about it. But we're going to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of all of this, and yeah, this was a fun one. This was a fun one, actually. I think I fared a lot better this time. Once again, I have played so much more smartly during my hard playthrough that I really feel like I did a lot better here on this engagement than I did on my previous playthrough on medium. So let's get into it. All right, so right out of the gate, I dropped my 4 turrets and I realized that I didn't set one up correctly. I've got one drone kind of popping in here to the side. He thinks he's hot shit. He's gonna take us down. He's not that scary. So I went ahead and I pulled my turrets, and I went ahead and I redeployed my 1 turret here. And then it's gonna ask me here again as well to go ahead and redeploy my 3rd turret, which I begrudgingly I did do that. So all right, I connected to the sector map and I did all of that fun stuff. I unveiled, headquarters, docking bay. I revealed all the floors. In this moment, I also was kind of put up against a bad situation where I had a massive onslaught building as well. So I contended with a massive onslaught first, and then the minute this onslaught was over, I wound up having to go ahead and I wound up having to basically have a whole second fight all over again. So, you know what, man, it is what it is. Sometimes you're just in a situation where this is what happens. All right. So the onslaught ends and we hit the console. This is going to go ahead and create a defense phase for us. Now I retain my Marines just in front of the sector map. I don't want to pull them back too far because I want to keep them within weapon shot of the sentries. I want to have as much firepower going to the east, west, or south as possible. All right, so right here, I go ahead and I drop the incinerator. What I want to do is I want to try and control how the Xenos are funneled into us, okay? By dropping the incinerator to the south, that massive horde that's coming are going to have to be rerouted. They're either going to go through the fire, hurting themselves, giving me the advantage, or they're going to push to the east or the western doors. So the Xenos wound up getting chewed up. They wound up getting chewed up by the incinerator, as well as my turret was, my southern turret was still continuing to kind of punch into them. What I did next was I did go ahead and drop suppressive fire. I saw the Xenos coming in, and I wanted to try and save my turret the best I could. Now, unfortunately, the turret did get destroyed. Initially, I thought, let's drop a grenade. Hindsight being 2020, knowing that the turret was probably going to get destroyed anyway, I probably would have just dropped the grenade, but I didn't do that. I wound up just going for the suppressive fire and using that suppressive fire to try and chew up and slow the Xenos as they destroyed my turret. Now, I also want to point out here my suppressive fire you can see that it's not exactly lined up with the western door. It's really more of just west proper of my team. It's at the 3 o'clock from my team's 12 o'clock, okay? Now, the reason I did this was primarily just one reason. Well, two reasons. I want the fastest line of attack that the Xenos are going to use on me, most likely a straight line. I want that straight line of attack covered by the suppressive fire. My second thought process, though, was if I put it here and I have to pull my team back behind the sector map, the angling of the suppressive fire is going to adjust. That angling is then going to cover the western door. It's going to cover the steps as they lead down out that western door. Meaning, even though I'm covering this way right now, if I move my team back, that door will be covered because this suppressive fire is going to pivot on the point where you can see that white dot is, right? So it's going to pivot at that point if I pull my Marines back. The Xenos at this point in time decided, hey, we're going to circumvent everything and we're going to just come through the vents and we're going to attack you guys that way. It didn't work, okay? I think the other thing that I really love about this is there's a natural funnel. There's a natural choke point that's built here. And it's all based on the channel of the way the consoles and the desks are structured. So even though my suppressive fire is not covering the door, the Xenos still coming from the western door, they still don't even have proper line of sight. They still don't have a proper direct line of attack to my team. They have to come around the base of these desks, the base of these consoles, and the sector of fire that the suppressive fire matches is almost a perfect angular match to the way this is set up. So my suppressive fire is working out really friggin' well here. I was really happy for it. All right, now the next thing that we do here is I do go ahead and I drop a flamethrower. I'm not so sure, like there are a couple of Xenos still remaining and they look like fast movers to me. So I went ahead and I threw a wall up there. I wanted to continue to try to funnel the Xenos. However, I want to control their avenues of attack, okay? So I go ahead and I throw up my firewall here. In conjunction, I do go ahead and throw a grenade out there as well. My thought process on that was simple. When doing an incinerator sweep, it is a great use of a command point when you're trying to control the flow of Xenos. However, it is extremely slow. So I wanted to pair it up with something that was faster. I wanted to pair it up with something that I knew could help us out and make sure that the wall was built. The wall of fire got built and that my incinerator unit did not get interrupted. So I went ahead and I gambled on a grenade. It worked out wonderfully. I don't have stasis at this particular juncture. I don't have stasis on my grenades, but I don't think it really mattered. We had a high impact round hit there. The area of effect got all of those Xenos out, and the wall of fire got built beautifully. I go ahead and I repair the turrets and I rearm them. I'm trying to use this break in contact for my Marines to be able to actually set things back up in our favor. Here's where I begin to lose a little bit of control here, a little bit. Here's where things, the pucker factor gets a little bit tight on this one, okay? I have a massive horde of Xenos coming, and I have one command point, all right? I have one command point. I have turrets that are getting beaten up. It's time to move. It's time to lift and shift fire, so to speak, and it's time to pull my team back behind the sector map, all right? I now need to link up with the turret that I laid down that's to my north, right behind that sector map. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is, because my southern turret is covering that doorway, and because I have this wall of fire the Xenos are not going to go through, they're all going to route around those command consoles. I'm going to go ahead and drop another lane of fire. Now, this worked out much better for me than I thought. I've got this one drone in front here, I believe, who's going to go ahead and juke out of the way. But when my incinerator rips off, he engulfs all of these Xenos in a line. So he engulfs all of them in a line of fire. Not only that, he blocks off that access, causes a ton of damage, and my Marines don't get choked up as bad as I thought that they would. So I mentioned it's time to go ahead and peel my team back. I need my team to get out of the way, okay? Now, when you do this and when you have to do this, I cannot stress this enough. Please remember, even though these moments catch us off guard, and even though we want our team to get out of the way, please walk them back. My one turret to the north is the only turret that I have right now that's a saving grace. I have a slight firewall ahead of us. That's going to funnel the Xenos a little bit for us. I have one command point that I can go ahead and utilize. So my resources are really, really thin. So I walk my team back and they are able to continue to engage these Xenos. Now I have one team member who winds up getting knocked back. However, my turret is his saving grace. That turret being back in the position that he's in is giving my team a fallback position, an Alamo, so to speak, okay? The Xeno has been dismembered. My team walking back still has line of sight of that last Xeno that's been dismembered. It all works out in the end, okay? I mean, it still turned out to be pretty smooth, all because I walked my team back, okay? All right, so I go ahead and I push my team to activate the console. Defense phase is over. Tight mission. I go ahead and I pick up the turrets that I have that are remaining, and right now is kind of just my my reconsolidation process. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and look through the map, and I'm gonna see what I can do. Now my team is heavy in the orange. I need to go ahead and get medical. I need to go ahead and get medical packs on all my team. McDonald needs a med pack, not just Naprolev. Signs needs a med pack, not just Naprolev. So there are a lot of things that I've got to do here. Later on in this mission, I do go ahead and I head over to the the med bay room. And I remembered to our south, there was a room that we hid in. And in that room, there were 2 tools. Things get cleaned up here really, really well. If I remember, my team actually does go ahead and grab that turret. When they grab that turret, and there's a glitch, there's some sort of a glitch, and we wind up getting 2 turrets instead of just 1. So that was awesome. I didn't have to use any tools to repair my busted turrets anyway. So, but we're going to go ahead and use this lull in activity to recover. And that's it. That's all she wrote. I appreciate you joining me on this tactical breakdown again today. Listen, hey, these have been really, really fun for me. And seeing how all of you as well operate has been an absolute delight. So I look forward to seeing you on the next one. I hope you're enjoying my hard playthrough. Stay safe out there. Nick out.